Hi, I'm Tunney-Ware, and I'm just doing this quick video just to explain more about what the legacy event I'm holding on the 27th of February at the Ellison Hotel is all about. There's 5 speakers on the night, one of which is myself. The first speaker of the night is Bill Phillips, and Bill Phillips will help people either define their vision or help clarify their vision. And Bill's expertise is he's worked with John Grindler, who's one of the top trainers in the world, for 13 years. John Grindler might mean nothing to you, the name, but I'm sure you've heard of a multi-sensory presentation. I'm sure you've heard about visual learners, auditory learners and kinesthetic learners. Well, Richard Boehner and John Grindler developed in the early 70s, late 70s, what's called NLP, as in NLP is Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And Bill Phillips has worked very closely with John Grindler, has been one of John Grindler's top trainers for 13 years, helping him train people right across the globe. Bill's expertise is second to none in enabling you to take that vision you have inside, or create that vision, into a structure where you know what it is you're looking for, what it is you're looking to develop in the real world. And also, in many ways, that vision will enable you to communicate your message more effectively, to develop your brand, to develop your products. So that leads me on to the next speaker of the night, David Gluckman. Who is David Gluckman, you might say? Well, I can guarantee you, as true as I breathe, that you know some of the brands that David Gluckman's developed. One of which is the Bailey brand. He was involved with the Kerrygold brand, also Smirnoff Black, and loads more. David is 81 years old, Bill Phillips is 72 years old. And I think you're starting to see why the event's called Legacy. That this is information you won't learn in school. This is information that if you were a lifetime looking to develop, looking to understand, these chaps have already gone through the school of hard knocks. They've got the learning, and I've asked them, as a personal favour to me, to condense that down into a process where we're not there talking at you. We're looking to show you and inform you to a standard that you get the insights, that you get the clarity, and where it enables you. This isn't about our stories. It leads me on to Doug Gordon. Who is Doug Gordon? Doug Gordon is, in my mind, is brilliant at sales. How do I know that? He sold 1.75 billion of financial products for Davies in total revenue in 1 year. I think that's phenomenal. I think you would agree. Next speaker, Joseph Maguire. What's Joseph Maguire's gift? Joseph is an expert of, in a sense, non-verbal communication. Reading people, understanding whether that, what a small twitch or a smile, you might say it's body language, it's much more than that. Joseph Maguire is a very good friend of mine. He was on TVAM yesterday morning, basically reading the mannerisms and body language of the politicians. So that gives me an idea of the quality of his information. He is a phenomenal guy. The skills, or the process he's looking to teach you, or to give you the insights on, is to help with your negotiations and communications. And myself, what can I bring to the table? Who am I? I'm Tunney-Ware. I've never had a job. I've been in business all my life. I had my first business when I was 12 years old. I'm 54 now, and I've always earned my own money. I come from a family of entrepreneurs, not just one generation, going back 4 generations. Multiple different businesses I've owned and helped manage from a young age, or I still manage today. So I've got a unique skill set in how to process, how to communicate, but that isn't what I'm going to be talking about on the night. I'm going to be talking about networking with intention and purpose. And the reason being is this: Bill Phillips will help you with your vision. David Gluckman will help you with your brand and your idea generation. How do you develop ideas? And this is in bite-sized chunks where you get the insight, where it's practical for you to implement. Doug's going to give you some of the fundamentals, in a sense, that enabled him to sell at a high standard and communicate in presentations. Joseph Maguire is going to give you that insight to enable you to effectively communicate and understand how to read somebody to a point where you know how to adjust your presentation. And myself is networking with intention. So vision, product development, brand, sales, because you need to sell what you've developed, and then you obviously need to communicate. And on myself is what type of clients are you looking for? What type of context are you looking for? With Bill Phillips' vision, yeah, whether it's a 3-year, 5-year, 10-year, you'll know the landmark, the pinnacle points in your journey, and you'll know the types of contacts you're going to need on that journey. So networking with intention or purpose is knowing what contacts you're going to need 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, so you can start developing the relationships now to build that trust, that authenticity between the contacts you need. Because some people network like they're on safari. Either they're the game or they're the hunter. That's not ethical or credible, that in a sense to enable you to build that credibility in the marketplace. And really you're only probably 10 people away from being able to develop a local, national or international brand, product or business. I'm Tunney-Ware. I'm going to follow up over the next few days with snippets of information, some short audio interviews from Doug, David, Joseph and myself and Bill Phillips. Just snippets of information, just covering it. And the last part of the night, once they finish speaking, there's going to be a couple of interactive exercises in the room that will enable you to develop insight and to sort of brainstorm. And then we've got a panel discussion. Not a panel discussion where we sit there and just tell you what we think. We want the questions. We're not worried what question you've got. If we can't answer it, we tell you we can't. But we want the questions from you. It's going to be short fire rounds. Like you're going to get to do an exercise to develop the questions, either with a partner or on your own, and then we're going to literally, have you got a question for Bill, have you got a question for David, have you got a question, and you'll learn not just from the answers to the questions, you'll also learn from the questions asked. So there's a lot going to happen on the night in 4 hours. What I will say at this stage, book your tickets, because my intention is, if I've got the people's information sooner rather than later, I will send you out a questionnaire to prepare you for the night. The whole point of the night is to serve you to the highest standard, to give you the insights that really could take you years to learn, if you ever will. So I'm Tunney-Ware. I look forward to talking to you soon.